take a look at an old family photo. You see a few faces, your parents, maybe your grandparents. Family feels like a small handful of people, but that's not even close to the truth. You have two parents, simple enough, and each of them had two parents, so that's four grandparents. Go back one more step and you get 8 great-grandparents. See the pattern? Every generation you go back, the number doesn't just add up, it doubles. 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. And these aren't distant cousins or random relatives. These are your direct ancestors, people without whom you would literally not exist. Now let's speed this up. Go back 10 generations. That's only about 250 years, not that long ago at all. But by then, you already have more than 1,000 direct ancestors. 1,000 people, all alive at the same time, all part of the exact chain that led to you. So keep doubling. 20 generations back puts us around the year 1500. And at that point, the math says you have over 1 million ancestors. One person, 1 million grandparents. Think about that for a moment. 1 million people, spread across villages, countries, maybe even continents. 1 million separate lives, 1 million love stories, 1 million strokes of pure luck. And if even one of them had gone differently, you would simply not be here. Every one of them survived long enough and met the right person at the right time just so that you could exist right now, watching this. Wait a second, let's keep going. 30 generations. That's roughly 1,000 years ago. Medieval times, knights and castles. And now the number has exploded past 1 billion. Go just a little further, 40 generations, and you're staring at trillions of ancestors. But hold on. Let's stop and ask one very simple question. How many humans have ever lived on planet Earth? Not right now, ever, in all of history. The answer is roughly 117 billion people, total. That's everyone who has ever breathed. So how can you, one single person, have trillions of ancestors when only 100 billion humans have ever existed? Your family tree would need more people than the planet has ever produced. That is impossible, which means something has to be wrong with our math. And here is the beautiful answer. Your family tree isn't a clean, spreading tree at all. The branches cross. The very same ancestor shows up on your tree not once, but over and over again in thousands of different places. Because for most of history, people didn't travel far. Distant cousins married distant cousins, almost always without ever knowing they were related. And every single time that happened, 2 branches of your family tree quietly merged back into one. Do that enough times, across enough centuries, and your tree stops spreading outward. It starts folding back in on itself. Scientists have a name for this. They call it pedigree collapse. Instead of billions of unique people, the same small group of ancestors simply fills billions of the empty spots. So your family tree isn't really a tree at all. It's a web. And all of those countless lines you imagined, they loop back to the same shared people again and again and again. And that leads to something genuinely incredible. If you go back far enough, every single person alive today shares the same common ancestors. And not millions of years ago, just a couple of thousand years, which means you are descended from kings and from the poorest peasants who ever lived. At the very same time, royalty and beggars sitting right next to each other in your family tree. Take Genghis Khan. Today, an estimated 16 million people are his direct descendants. That's about 1 in every 200 men on the entire planet. And he's not alone. Nearly every ancient king, conqueror, or emperor with lots of children has millions of living descendants today. The quiet people who had no fame at all? Many of their bloodlines simply faded out. So statistically, if you go back far enough, almost everyone alive is descended from someone who once ruled. In fact, scientists estimate that any 2 people on Earth, no matter how different they look or where they were born, are, at most, about 50th cousins, usually much closer. A stranger on the other side of the planet is family you just haven't met yet. So that stranger you walked past on the street this morning, there's a very real chance they're your distant cousin. And that one over there too. Because when you follow the math all the way down, every single person alive today is part of one enormous, tangled, shared family. And not as some nice, feel-good metaphor. Literally, actually, family. So the next time you look at an old family photo, don't just see a few faces. remember that standing behind you, just out of frame, is quite literally the entire world.